So hello everybody, my name is Courtland. I'm Vice President of Walker Supply Chain Management. I am what we call a supply chain executive. And in that particular space, we manage the supply chain. So you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? What it implies is that we actually manage the product from point A to point B. So we all go into dollar stores, we all go into malls, and we just go through and say, hey, we need some toothpaste, we need some toilet paper, whatever we need, we go get. And as long as the store has it, we really don't care where it came from. But behind the scenes is a company like Walker's, right? So we touch in a lot of different products that no one will ever know that we exist, because we make sure that it gets from its what we call a point of origin, where it originates, to the end user, which is a person like yourself or your parents when they go into the store to actually buy the product. So that's in a nutshell really what logistics is. I'm going to give you just a couple of examples. So one is that we actually work with a company who is partnered with Apple, so to speak. So if, for example, your Apple phone's not working, if it's damaged for any reason, you would put it in a box or you would ship it to a company like ours. You would never actually see us. Our company would go through and repair that product. We would make sure we'd wipe it clean, make sure all the data is erased and everything else, and then we would ship that product back to you. If it was damaged beyond repair, we would basically ship it back to the manufacturer. On the automotive side, we deal with a lot of the component manufacturers, and what I mean is that you're in a car and each car has a muffler. We'll deal with a company who manufactures those mufflers on a global scale. We'll make sure that we set up the transportation via truck, then boat, and sometimes rail into a warehouse that is managed by us, and then we would take that product and then ship it into the plant as they need it. The interesting thing about that is that when we ship it into an automotive plant, if you could imagine how Ford, GM, and Chrysler make cars, they'll have a red car, blue car, gray car, blue car, green car, and they'll all be coming down the line. It's up to us to make sure that our product matches how that product is coming down the line, so they can have a more efficient way of assembling a car. So on the healthcare side, so I gave you two. I gave you auto and I gave you tech, and then the third one is healthcare. Everywhere you go now, you see healthcare. You see masks. Everybody's wearing a mask. You probably have a mask on now, and you'll see some probably for the next few years. Well, what has happened is that healthcare organizations have a mandate where they, or requirement, I should say, where they have to store 6 months of PPE, personal protective equipment, which is inclusive of masks and gloves and disinfectant and those kind of things. Well, these are hospitals. Hospitals are there to treat people. They are not there to store and manage an excessive amount of inventory. So they reach to a company like Walker's to manage that that inventory. So that's really what we do, right? We're the behind the scenes middleman, managing the supply chain, managing the process of getting product from point A to point B. So take a little break. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. Born and raised in Detroit on the east side. Went to Mason Elementary School, Farwell, and then I was a graduate of Martin Luther King High in the MSAT program. From then I went on to Michigan State, and later received my master's from University of Phoenix, and actually have a dual degree in management and marketing from them as well. So the positioning of my career and why I selected it was really it was really thrust upon me into a sense that did I plan to go into logistics? No, I was a math major. I was really in tune to mathematics. But what I found, and this is important for you guys, is that what I really liked was the element of problem solving. And in business, it's always about solving problems, being agile enough, being calm enough to solve those problems as they come about and as you face them. So that's a summary of me, a little bit about my career. Some of the other positions that you guys may want to consider as you move through your education and to learn a little bit more about supply chain. Supply chain touches us every day, right? In some way, shape, or form. Whether you're typing on a computer, there's a supply chain that supports Dell and Apple. Whether you're you're talking on a phone, there's a supply chain that touches the Motorola and the Samsung and the Apples as well, right? If you're even if you have on a pair of Jordans, right? There's a supply chain that distributes Jordans on a worldwide basis, right? So there are several different points from when the product is made to how the product gets to you. There's a lot of technology involved in this. Some of it comes to your door from FedEx. Sometimes you go to the mall to get it, and sometimes you could actually receive it in what they would call kind of an e-commerce platform, which is also delivered to your door, kind of similar to how the Amazons work today. So some of the careers that you may want to consider would be logistics engineer. Engineers are very, very valuable and needed in this space. Inventory managers, if you're managing a warehouse, you need to know where the product is. People are counting on you to make sure that they have the adequate amount of inventory levels. IT data analysts, and I'm going to come back to that one a little bit because I think this is the future part of this platform that you guys should focus on. You've got freight analysts, supply chain managers, logistics managers, international aspect because there are several different products that come from around the world. And then, of course, you have purchasing, right? So all of these careers that I kind of just really went through are really careers in the business environment that's tying together and supporting the supply chain platform, so to speak. What I'll do is I'll close it out and with a very detailed analysis of a supply chain. We all live in Detroit. We're all familiar with the big three. And in the big three, if you could take a car and you say they have tires, they have mufflers, they have a steering wheel, they have antennas, they have seats, and they have a bunch of other different things that go into the car. I could sit here all day and tell you the thousands of parts that go in. Well, if you look at it, the antennas may come from Shanghai, which they do. Mufflers may come from Brazil. The seats may come from Mexico. And let's say the steering columns and the eye shafts, which is the part that adjusts your steering wheel, they come from a company called Liechtenstein, which is outside of Germany. Now, it is important that when I say supply chain analysts or IT data analysts, is that people are looking at how long will it take to get the product from the manufacturer to the end user or to the point of use. And in this particular situation, we're talking about the point of use, which would be the manufacturer. So if you've got mufflers coming from here, antennas coming from here, and you've got all of these different automotive components, right? Dashboards and radios coming from Malaysia, someone that has to coordinate that activity. So that activity will not go away. It may change depending on the platform and how we're doing business. COVID is changing a lot of our RT requirements, and it's a very, very exciting field. I love it. I've been doing this for 26 years now. So it's been very, very exciting for me. I've been able to travel a lot. I've been able to see a lot of different countries. I've visited the highly populated areas of the states and Mexico and several parts of Europe, and I like it. So I invite you to at least entertain or either educate yourself around the benefits of being in supply chain. Again, this is Courtland Colding signing off, and best wishes to you all, and I know you all do great things. Thank you.